In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on October 19, 2022, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive betting picks to take your sports betting journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer anywhere from 1 betting pick a day up to 10 betting picks a day and much more. Now let's get started. Orlando Magic versus Detroit Pistons. This Wednesday, the Orlando Magic will travel to Detroit, to take on the Detroit Pistons in the first game of the NBA regular season. Tip-off will be inside Little Caesars Arena. Neither of these teams made the playoffs last season, but they've made multiple upgrades over the summer. The Orlando Magic ended up with the number 1 overall pick in last year's draft, as they selected Paolo Banchero out of Duke. They also re-signed Mo Bamba and Gary Harris, as this young team will look to improve this season. The Detroit Pistons held the 5th overall pick in the 2022 NBA Draft, as they selected Jaden Ivey. They also added Nerlens Noel, Kevin Knox, and Bogdan Bogdanovic, as this team will look much different than last season. They have added depth, as they will be looking to make a run toward the postseason this year. Looking at the betting trends, the Magic are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games, playing on 3 or more days rest, and 4-9 against the spread in their last 13 games overall. The Pistons are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 Wednesday games and 19-7 against the spread in their last 26 games overall. Head-to-head, the over is 4-1 in the last 5 meetings overall. The Magic are 1-5 against the spread in the last 6 meetings in Detroit, and the Magic are 3-8 against the spread in the last 11 meetings overall. Not all of the first game matchups can be a good one. This year, Orlando is hoping the selection of forward Paolo Banchero with the top pick can lead to actual winning results on the court. He might be very good, but he is not a LeBron James level game changer, so he is going to need some help, preferably from last year's top pick, guard Jalen Suggs. This is a young team, and the outlook is a little better than it has been in recent years, though that is a low bar. Detroit is another young team, but I like the way they are coming together. They had the top pick in the draft last year, and throughout the season, Cade Cunningham proved to be pretty much what was expected. This year, they throw electric guard Jaden Ivey into the mix to add another element. Plus, the addition of shooting from forward Bogdan Bogdanovic is going to make it easier for all of their young players. I am not seeing them in playoffs this season, but they might get closer than they have in a while. Detroit is a home favorite in the opener. That is a little bit notable, as they were favorites just 7 times all of last season. 2 of those times were in home games against the Magic, games in which they won and covered. Those were 2 of their 3 wins as favorites all season long. Right now, the gap between these teams feels bigger than it was a year ago, especially with Orlando looking to lean on a rookie to change their fortunes. The Pistons are a little short-handed for this one, as Marvin Bagley has already been ruled out, while the Magic will be without a host of players including Moritz Wagner, Jonathan Isaac, Markelle Fultz, and Gary Harris. These were the bottom 2 teams of the Eastern Conference, so I'm not expecting too much from this contest. However, with the Magic dealing with so many key injuries, I'm leaning towards the Pistons to take care of business. Detroit should be favored in more spots this season than last, so we are going to have to get used to that. Only time will tell how this group performs when they are expected to win, so the Detroit Pistons to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Washington Wizards versus Indiana Pacers. Washington and Indiana will open up their season tonight at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. The Washington Wizards will look to get their season off to a hot start after a very disappointing season last year. The Wizards were 35-47 overall and 14-27 on the road last season. Indiana will also be looking to rebound from a treacherous season, as they went just 25-57 and 16-25 as the home team. These 2 teams split the season series last year at 2-2, with both teams sweeping their home games. In their 4 preseason tune-up matches, the Wizards went 1-3 with a minus 25-point differential, while the Pacers went 2-2 with a plus 9-point differential. Looking at the betting trends, the Wizards are 3-9 against the spread in their last 12 road games and 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games overall. The Pacers are 6-13 against the spread in their last 19 home games, 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 games, playing on 3 or more days rest, and 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games overall. Head-to-head, the over is 6-1 in the last 7 meetings overall, and the Wizards are 0-5-1 against the spread in the last 6 meetings in Indiana. It will be the first time we get to see the dynamic duo of Beal and Porzingis, and I strongly believe that will be a difference maker in this one and all season long. Washington got better by adding Barton and Morris, and with Denny Avdija, Daniel Gafford, and Hachimura coming off the bench, the Wizards will be able to go full throttle all game. Indiana does not have the depth that the Wizards do, and I think that will be a problem, especially early on. The Wizards have so many new toys to complement Beal and Porzingis, so there is plenty of optimism after so many tough seasons. You can't say the same about the Pacers, who are dealing with a complete rebuild with Halliburton and LeVert leading the way. With both teams just about at full strength, I'm going with the Wizards to kick off their campaign with a W in this spot. Expect a big game from Beal in his healthy return as the Wizards roll, so the Washington Wizards to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Last year, the over was 3-1 in the season series between these two teams. Indiana had an abysmal season last year, but they did manage to rank in the top half of the league in points per game. Their failures were in large part due to their defense that ranked 26th in allowed points per game. As for Washington, they are finally healthy, and with Beal returning, their offense should be much improved. Last year, Washington had the 5th highest field goal percentage at 47.2%. With Beal back healthy and Monty Morris now on the team, the Wizards hope to be more productive from deep as they finished last in the NBA last season in three-pointers made per game. Morris and Beal are both above average from 3, and this could really help spark this Wizards offense. Washington's defense was ranked in the bottom half of the league last year as well. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Houston Rockets versus Atlanta Hawks. The NBA's worst team from the 2021 to 2022 season will try to get off to a good start to the 2022 to 2023 season when Houston travels to Atlanta for an opener on Wednesday night. The Rockets finished with a league-worst record of 20-62, going on 4 separate losing streaks of at least 7 games. They are facing an Atlanta squad that made the Eastern Conference Finals in 2021 before barely making the playoffs last year. Looking at the betting trends, the Rockets are 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 road games and 0-7 against the spread in their last 7 games playing on 3 or more days rest. The Hawks are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 home games and 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 games following a loss. Head-to-head, the over is 5-1 in the last 6 meetings overall, and the Rockets are 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 meetings overall. Atlanta should be focused to start the season after a disappointing finish last year in playoffs. The Hawks underperformed expectations all year, most because of the team's defensive struggles, and the addition of Murray should give Atlanta a chance to be much better offensive team this season. The Hawks' offense was again solid last year, but Atlanta still needs more ball movement in the half court, where the team depends too much on Trae Young and isolation sets. DeJounte Murray isn't a consistent offensive player, but he should be able to significantly improve the Hawks' defense right away. Houston will be better this year than last season when the team made clear they were tanking early on, but the Rockets are still very young, with only 2 veterans on the roster in Gordon and Favors. The Rockets core has also not played together much since Houston frequently sat player to ensure the team would have the highest draft position possible. It's hard to make much of an argument for a rebuilding Rockets team who look even weaker than they were last season. The Hawks will be itching to kick off their season with a big win, and they have just the right opponent to do it against. The Hawks look like a much better unit with DeJounte Murray next to Trae Young. Atlanta returns nearly their entire core from last year, and they should be able to start the season in strong form. So the Atlanta Hawks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Houston was the worst defense in the league last year, and the team didn't make any significant changes to their very young roster. Derek Favors is too small to guard on the perimeter, as the Jazz learned, and Houston will likely struggle defensively again this season. Both teams prefer to play fast since their best players are in the backcourt, and Houston's younger players such as Jalen Green should be better this year. Atlanta was a good offensive team last year despite their disappointing season, and the Hawks should again be able to score with a roster featuring Trae Young, John Collins, and new addition DeJounte Murray. Games tend to be faster paced to start the season since teams have fresh legs, and both these teams prefer to play faster anyways. Even with the addition of Derek Favors, the Houston roster is small, and Atlanta also plays a smaller roster with Capela at the 5. Both teams are going to be putting starting units on the court that will want to push the pace in the open court. The Hawks should also be able to build a fairly big lead in this game against a Houston team this rebuilding, and the Rockets will likely have to push the pace down late in the game. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.